Hey guys, so this is your day 6 PowerPoint for your notebook. Hopefully you're watching these PowerPoints or watching these videos so you know how to put everything into your notebook. We are talking about plant structures and reproduction. So today's agenda, first we're going to do the angiosperm reproduction on page 95, gymnosperm reproduction on page 96. Then you're going to watch the Amoeba Sisters video on plant reproduction. I did add it to this PowerPoint here. And then you're also going to take a mini assessment on angiosperm reproduction. So we'll go through that and explain how exactly you're going to find everything and how to set it up in your notebook. Angiosperm reproduction on page 95. This is the page you're going to use. So you're going to cut out all the way out on the solid line, all the way around, okay? Once you cut out on the solid line, you're going to fold them in these dotted lines. The only part you're going to glue is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this six-sided shape here. You're going to glue that down onto your notebook, okay? So cut along the solid lines, and you're going to write underneath of the flaps as we go. So underneath the flaps, meaning underneath this part, not the actual page, because there's going to be quite a bit of stuff you need to write underneath, okay? So hopefully you'll follow along. So first is germination. So look for this picture here on your flippable, okay? This picture here, germination, make sure you're writing underneath of this flap. So right on this flap here, not on the six-sided shape, but on the actual flap. So germination is when a plant begins as a seed that will grow or germinate into a new plant. Remember, if I'm going too fast during this PowerPoint, you can pause it. So after every piece of note that I say, then you can pause and then move on, right? This next picture here is of the flower. It's the mature flowering plant. Small plant grows into a larger plant. 3 is pollination. So this picture is a little bit different because it has the little dots here than this picture here. This picture here does not have the little dots, but this picture does. Okay. Pollen is trapped in the stigma. So you can see that the little dots go all the way up and then down into that first little square there. Fertilization. Okay, it looks like the flower has kind of opened up. Pollen tube is made and the pollen moves down tube to egg. Flap number 5, egg becomes an embryo in seed and ovary becomes fruit. 6, you can see that the seeds are kind of coming out of this here. They look like they're kind of falling out or they're popping out. So seeds are dispersed under this flap. And this is how it should look. So this is the full page, right? They should all kind of fold into it themselves. And you can put this right in the middle of the page. Gymnosperm reproduction, page 97. So again, you're going to cut out all along the outside, and you're going to fold on the dotted line. First one, germination. Seeds start to grow into small plants. So you're going to look for this picture here. That's going to be the first flap. Make sure you're writing this underneath of the flap. 2, pine tree is formed. Pine tree produces male and female cones. So you have a male cone and a female cone right on this picture here. Male cone produces pollen and female cone produces ovules. So you can see with a male cone, it has pollen that's actually popping out of the cone. Remember, you can pause this if I'm going too fast. You need a chance to write down the notes. Pollination, so the transfer of pollen from the male cone to the female cone. So this is your male cone, the pollen came out of the male cone and it is going to the female cone, and this is pollination from the male part to the female part. Seeds are created and dispersed by the wind. So this comes out of the cone. You've probably seen them before underneath of pine trees. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So you have your gymnosperms, and then on the inside, I wrote underneath of each of the underneath each of the flaps. So this is one full page. So plant reproduction video, this is the video should pop up here, so you should be able to push play. Not in the video that you're watching, the description video, but if you go back into the actual PowerPoint, you'll find it there, or at the end of this video here. I think it might be too long for us to watch together. Yes, so it's 8 minutes long, so make sure you watch that, okay? All right, so this is the end of that. So I'm going to escape. We're going to go back to our classwork page. So if we go into our 6th grade science, if you go all the way down to the bottom, the reproduction of angiosperms video will be up. So it'll be there where you can find that. And then you will be doing the assessment. So you're going to do the angiosperm mini assessment here. That's on page 94. So I'm just going to read this out loud for you so you know what the questions are asking you. So number 1, what is the process by which new plant grows from a seed? So a new plant's growing from a seed. What is that process called? Is it called germination, pollination, fertilization, or dispersal? Number 2, during which process does pollen fuse with the ovules in the ovaries? So look back at your notes that you just took for today and find where the pollen fuses with the ovules. Is it germination, pollination, fertilization, or dispersal? Number 3, why does a flower lose its petals? To produce pollen, to attract insects, which helps with pollination, because the flower puts all of its energy into developing seeds, because the flower is growing new stems and leaves. Think about energy. Think about why the petals might fall. What is the plant doing in order for those petals to fall? Like, what is the reason? Would the plant be doing something else, not focusing on the petals? It's a hint. Number 4, what is the benefit in producing fruit that surrounds the seeds? Why would a plant want to produce fruit instead of just dropping seeds on the ground? What is the purpose of a piece of fruit? Is it for protection? Is it just because, we like to eat fruit? What is the reasoning for that? Okay, make sure you answer that in full sentence. And last one, what is the difference between self-pollination and cross-pollination? So you have 2 different types of pollination. What is the difference between cross-pollination and what is the difference? So what is self-pollination and cross-pollination? Other than that, you guys should be good. If you have any questions, make sure you comment on this screen, on this video here.